Hey Justin, I got your helmet here for you, the SPD one. As you can see, came out really nice. So I actually think this is probably one of my favorite pieces I've made in quite a while. I went with a new method of printing in the design, and since you requested the LED ears, you can see when they're off, you still have that nice red on the two ears. But if you look closely there, they sort of have that siren texture to them, which I like, which is a process that comes through with the printing. And this is printed in transparent red and then blocked off while I do the rest of the painting. So I can just leave it as is. And so for starters, you got, your visor here, which you can, of course, see through, but not in, which is great. I started using a new paint that I think came out a lot nicer than some of my previous ones, a lot more solid looking and shiny. And then, of course, the inner white detailing around the visor as well. So to put it on, you're going to want to separate these two pieces by pulling. And this bit is held on by elastic there at the top, so it doesn't, you don't lose it, and it's not flopping around or anything, which also helps to hold the top in place when it's shut. And then you can see these tabs have magnets, and on the inside, now the magnets actually go below where that top one is set, but this was to make the magnet mounts on the inside as slim as possible while still using these much stronger magnets. So you can see when you put it on, you just line these tabs up here with the holes of the inside mounts. So it's hard for me to do this while holding it for the camera, but right there, you can see it's going into that box, so it's not on top. It slides in, and then that force of the magnets holds it together, and they're very strong. So shake this all around while it's on your head. This baby is not coming off. So to again get to the LEDs, you could see on the inside, normally I don't do a lot of padding on the inside without someone's head being actually present here, but I had to cover up the LED ears because there was a whole lot of wiring involved. But right here at the front is your battery box and on-off switch. So the on-off switch is at the bottom. You can turn those, can't really see it in the light, but turn those on and off. And if you need to replace the batteries, you just slide the box up slightly, and it will, the bottom plate is attached. So you slide it up, turn it around. It doesn't have a lot of movement. So you just slide it up a little bit, turn it around, replace the batteries, then stick it back down and push downward. It's very hard for me to demonstrate that process in camera, but if you have any questions about that, just let me know. It should be fairly straightforward to figure out. So let me get this back on for you. Picked up a little scrap plastic, and I will show you the LED ears. There we go. Okay, so let me turn off these lights. Okay, so here we go. So those came out really nice and have that sort of car siren looking texture to them. But in the dark, I mean, this just looks really nice. It was very difficult to get the light to disperse throughout these, which is why there was so much. There's, I think, at least 4 LEDs involved in that. So that's why that wiring's covered up. But that just came out excellent. Looks really cool if you're walking around in a darker environment, especially for something like Halloween. And then, of course, you can turn it on and off using that switch. So that covers everything in terms of the helmet itself and those details. Set that aside. I'm also including, since I don't have your head here for getting exact sizing, this is scaled to the head circumference you sent me. But then I'm also including these pre-cut foam things. So these are some odds and ends that I think are a bit thicker and might be helpful. You could chop them up if you need to make smaller adjustments in places. Same thing with this one. It's very squishy, but also thick. So maybe the back of the head frequent place to cover stuff up, or maybe up top if you need to align your eyes with the visor at a certain height. So those are nice. And then the ones I usually use are these babies right here. So there's thicker ones and thinner ones. I'll just show with these thinner ones here. Basically what you want to do is using any glue that you have, hot glue, regular glue, whatever you have that'll hold these on. It doesn't take anything fancy. Put the helmet on, shut it, move your head around, and feel around for where there's gaps. There's big gaps. And then trying to keep it as symmetric as possible. Good places to start are like the temples, top of the head, and then back of the head, like right under where your head bumps out on the back. Or back sides are good to start, but the temples I think is a really great place to start, so that when your head goes in, that's the first place, sort of locking it there for that nice tight fit. You can layer 2 of these in those spots respectively, let it dry, put the helmet on, wiggle around. If there's still more room, you can just layer another one right on top to fill more space, or even layer one of these thicker pieces on top of that to fill up that space, and just keep layering if you need to, or maybe use one of these thicker ones. But again, without your head here, I don't want to put in all of these things myself and then have it be too small. So I think the mix is good of having it scaled to your head circumference, so it's very close, but still a little extra room for you to make those final little adjustments and get that perfect fit. So these will all be in the package with the helmet, and I'm going to have it shipped out today, so it'll definitely be getting to you before Halloween. Would love to see, photos of you rocking it with the whole getup if you got them, and if you remember. But anyway, thanks.